had somewhere to go if we knew this shit was gonna happen.
Okay, I'm gonna bring the crew in. We're gonna start up here on this front. This will give y'all time if you want to pack some stuff, get your personal things.
Up there, though, so you're gonna be in here in 5 minutes and all my stuff that I'm sorry.
Calm down, baby. Stop. I know.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something that's shaking up millions of American families, the Section 8 housing debate. More and more people are saying the program should only help veterans and the disabled, leaving out single moms and low-income families who've relied on it for generations. So maybe the real question isn't who deserves help. Maybe it's why does a full-time job no longer guarantee a roof over your head? But anyway, let's move on to the video.
In 2 years, I'm going to lose my housing. All because the guidelines for Section 8 have changed since you-know-who got into office. They're saying that if you have a child that is school-aged, meaning if you don't have to stay home with your child, you have to be able to obtain employment, have a full-time job, and you cannot be on Section 8 past 2 years unless you have a disability. Can you believe that?
Happening October 2025, HUD confirmed that in October, HUD is rolling out a new income verification rule that these changes are going to impact so many residents. These changes apply to all Section 8 and public housing tenants, not those that just been on these programs for 2 years. Here are what they're looking to do. Mandatory annual income re-verification, even for fixed or income households, real-time data checks using IRS and Social Security card records, and stricter rules for verifying gigs, self-employment, and cash income. Penalties for failing to report income changes within 10 days are going to be drastic. These changes, again, are from a broader perspective to reduce fraud and improve accuracy in rent and calculation. So what Section 8 tenants should know, okay? I'm reading this off of my notes. Income will be checked more closely. HUD will now use IRS and Social Security data to verify your income. If you have side jobs, gigs, or get paid in cash, they're going to look for it. You must report these income changes fast. If your income goes up or down, you must report it within 10 days. Not reporting it could lead to rent increases, repayment demands, even termination from the program. They are not playing. Annual reviews are going to be mandatory. Even if you're on a fixed income like SSI or SSD, you're still going to go through an annual income. Again, keep your paperwork organized. Report income changes very quickly. Okay, don't lose your Section 8 over something so silly. Don't hide any source of income. But if you've been relying on unreported income or haven't updated your housing authority about these changes, these are going to cause problems for you because they're going to find out. So what you can do right now, gather all income and documents, pay stub, benefit letters, etc. Make sure your housing authority has your contact info. Ask questions early. Don't wait until you get a letter. So if you have anything in the mail, this is what they're going to say. This is the letter that's coming in October, just letting you know what is to come. So if you're that person that is getting Zelle, you're cash apping, they're going to find out. They're really cracking down. If they get an inkling that you're receiving a source of income that is not down in your file, you will be at risk of losing your Section 8.
This right here is the wake-up call a lot of tenants didn't see coming. For years, there's been quiet talk about unreported income, side gigs, Zelle, Cash App, under-the-table work, and now they're connecting the dots straight through federal databases. That means every Venmo payment, every side hustle dollar could show up in a housing audit, and the scariest part? Missing that 10-day reporting deadline could literally cost you your home. Rent hikes, repayment demands, even termination from the program. That's not a threat, that's written policy now. If you're on Section 8 right now, the smartest move you can make is to treat your file like it's under a microscope, because it will be. Keep your paperwork tight, report everything, and don't gamble with your voucher. HUD isn't asking anymore, they're verifying. What do you think? Is this a fair accountability move or just another way to push struggling families off the program? I'm curious how you see it. Drop your take below.
So I just got home. I tried to go in the house and They changed the locks on me. They literally changed the locks. I can't get in the house. I want to break down the door, but I don't want to. I don't want to go to jail. So I'm not gonna do it. I got my stuff. I can't even get my stuff. I don't even have a drawers. I can't even take a shower. I can't even get my clothes. I don't even have nothing to put on. I can't even talk to the housing person. The janitor guy was there. He said the housing lady will be in the morning. He said she might be able to take the locks off and let me get my stuff tomorrow.
All of the people who rely on Section 8 housing to cover parts of their rent, I have great news for you in the midst of this government shutdown. I just got done speaking with the Central Texas Council of Governments, better known as CITCOG. Executive Director Jim Reed told me that they learned a few days ago that the HUD is covering everyone's rent up until January 1st, 2026. So CITCOG will soon be getting all of the funds they need to cover rent for the remainder of the year. This is, of course, great news for people who live under Section 8 housing, but it's also good news for landlords. This is because, of course, landlords have these properties and they likely have a mortgage on them and they're not going to be able to pay them if they're not getting that money from the government. But landlords, you're going to be okay. If you didn't know already, there's some good news regarding SNAP benefits. The government just approved giving partial payments to people who rely on SNAP benefits. COG allocates Section 8 housing to more than 2,400 families in Central Texas. They do service in 7 counties, including Bell, Lampasas, and Hill County. In the midst of a government shutdown that's been going on for more than 30 days, I'm just really glad to share some good news and positive news as we work towards getting all of this resolved. And of course, y'all, help where you can because a lot of families need it.
HUD stepping in to cover rent through January 1st. 2026 means millions of families won't be facing eviction right before the holidays. And honestly, that's huge because let's be real. This shutdown's been hammering both sides. Tenants worried about losing their homes and landlords wondering how to make their mortgage payments without those Section 8 deposits hitting. So hearing that agencies like Central Texas Council of Governments are getting the funds they need is a game changer. This doesn't mean it's time to relax completely. These payments are covered through January, not guaranteed forever. This is a temporary lifeline, not a fix. So what do you think? Is this the start of real stability or just a Band-Aid on a much bigger problem?
Good morning. Nobody really knows what's going to happen to the Section 8 funding in 2026, but I can give you an idea of what I imagine is going to happen. Appropriations will most likely stay level, meaning there's no new funding going into the program. Unfortunately, what that means for housing authorities is they're not going to have enough money to just generally cover what they're already anticipated to spend next year for housing costs. Coupled with increased utility expenses, what I imagine will likely happen is residents who are participating in the program will have higher costs and landlords will see lower rents as housing authorities are trying to find ways to save money by trying to drive those rents down. I imagine you'll see a lot of payment standards decreasing at housing authorities all over the country, partially because half of the country's housing authorities are already in what is known as shortfall. And so what landlords will likely see is that, a unit that got $1,000 6 months ago might only get $950 or less. So if you're a landlord or a participant in the program, just know if you're a tenant, your costs are likely going to go up. Landlords, your HAP and contract rents are probably going to go down. The other thing that happens when these situations occur is when residents try and move, landlords want higher rents, and it's going to drive residents into higher areas of poverty concentrations, which are going to give them less opportunity to afford units in nicer areas. And then additionally, I would imagine that there won't be a lot of new vouchers issued next year, which means anybody who's looking to get into housing, you're going to need to look for other sources. I've posted on here before the HUD resource locator, and it lists available project-based rental assistance properties, as well as low-income housing tax credit properties that you should start looking into, because it's highly unlikely that a lot of vouchers will be issued next year. You probably won't see many wait lists opening. So you're going to need to look for other forms of affordable housing to be able to find affordable housing. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'll keep you posted as I hear things, but that's what I imagine is going to happen.
This right here is the kind of warning that too many people ignore until it's too late. When this guy says appropriations will most likely stay level, that's government talk for no new money coming in. And in plain English, that means Section 8 isn't growing with inflation, but rents, utilities, and everything else sure are. Then there's the people still waiting for help, the ones on endless wait lists. If new vouchers aren't issued next year, that's game over for a lot of families hoping for relief. The message is pretty clear. Don't wait on the system to save you. If you're already in Section 8, keep your paperwork tight. If you're a landlord, brace for smaller payments. And if you're on a wait list, start looking for alternative programs now, because 2026 isn't looking generous. What do you think? Is this just temporary belt tightening, or are we watching the slow shutdown of affordable housing as we know it? Let's talk in the comments. I want to hear your perspective.
EBT, food stamps. The sad part is what these people are saying, how they feel it's entitled. Unbelievable the way this world is. I actually feel bad for our future. We're in a sad state right now, because you know what? Food stamps and all that was created, I believe, in the early 60s for a crutch. Do you realize that when people first went on it, they weren't even allowed to have a TV. They would do home visits, you know, and I'm going to give my opinion on it because I was on it at one time. I was a teen mom, so I had to get food stamps because I was going to school. I was going to school for nursing. So it was my son and me, and I got food stamps and all that happy noise. And then I went into government housing. Here's where I think the system is messed up, is, what do they call it? Section 8. Do you realize how much people get a month for housing? That's where the money's going. Make that make sense to me. Make that be fair to me, because I can't. When I did government housing, I was a teenager with my son. We moved into government housing, and they went by your income, so I paid $25 a month. Now, mind you, this was the 80s, okay? $25 a month, and they didn't have cap back then, but the electric and gas wasn't much. And I got food stamps for us, and back then you got cash because I was in school. That's how I was able to get it, you know? I think now, I'm not even gonna touch that. We're gonna just talk about food stamps and Section 8. So here's my thing. Section 8, people will get Section 8, which is allowance for their housing every month, which could be a lot of money. Now, if they want a bigger house or a better house more than what they get, then they got to make up the difference. But we're talking like, some people get like over $1,000 a month for housing, you know, where to me, if you need that, if you need to rely on the government, then you go into government housing. You go to government housing, which is considered the projects, and they go by your income. So you could pay whatever, 100, 200, 500, whatever it is, it goes on your income, because that's what you can afford. You're basically needing everybody else to pay for your housing every month. That's not fair. Go get a job. There is everywhere I go, and business owners, they can't get people to work. They can't get help. Dairy Queen, they're shutting their hours down early because they don't have enough of workers. Go get a job. That's what the government needs to do. Don't shut the government down. I think that's crazy. You know what I mean? Go buy. First and foremost, if you just eliminated Section 8, you're going to get a lot of money.
She's not attacking the idea of help. She's attacking the culture of staying on it forever. Food stamps and Section 8 were meant to bridge a gap, not become a multi-generation comfort zone. And she's right. Back in the day, it came with stricter oversight, home visits, work requirements, and an expectation that you'd eventually move forward. But here's the real tension. The economy she's describing doesn't exist anymore. The jobs she's talking about, the paper routes, the extra shifts, don't even cover rent in 2025 America. You can work 40 hours a week and still not afford a studio apartment in half the country. That's the disconnect. What do you think? Is it people refusing to move forward, or a system that stopped giving them anywhere to go? Drop your take below. I want to hear how you see it. And that's going to wrap it up for today. If you've watched this far, it probably means you care about both sides of that truth. So hit subscribe, stay aware, and check out the next video on screen.